Disc brakes are undoubtedly the benchmark when it comes to modulation, stopping power, and reliable braking performance. And yet there continue to be reservations about the safest braking system available on a bicycle. Certain people have discovered that their bike brakes noticeably lose significant power and effectiveness after a service. Why is this the case, you might wonder? Simply put, disc brakes actually need a break-in process to work efficiently. This is true for brand new brakes just as much as for brakes that have been serviced, where either new brake discs or entirely new brake pads have been installed. Initially, bedding in the disc brake seems more complex than it actually is in reality. The process is simple and easy enough for just about anyone to confidently do at home without any special help. I'll be demonstrating how it all works in this video. Hello dear Rebikers! Hello dear Rebikers! I warmly welcome you all to this beautiful Allgäu region, the charming and lovely home of Rebike. And for this particular video, I picked out a mountain road because it's the perfect location to really demonstrate clearly how to properly bed in and use your disc brakes effectively. You really don't need a big mountain, a smaller hill will certainly do just fine. Bedding in a disc brake effectively is best achieved on a nicely paved descent, ensuring optimal function and reliable performance. But what's the reason for needing to brake in the disc brake at all? As an integral part of our premium refurbishment program, we systematically replace every part that no longer aligns with our comprehensive quality and safety standards. This indicates that the used e-bike you've purchased from Rebike could potentially have brand new brake discs and fresh brake pads installed for better performance. And with the installation of new brake discs and accompanying new brake pads, it is absolutely crucial and essential to properly bed in the disc brake system. Why exactly do disc brakes need to be bedded in? It's quite straightforward and simple. The surfaces of the brake discs and the brake pads at the point when they are freshly produced at the factory are never entirely 100% perfectly flat. The surfaces of the brake disc and the brake pads are liberally scattered with a multitude of microscopically small peaks. And when I mention tips, you can likely already begin to imagine what the problem with this matter is. So when the brake pads now press against the brake disc, it's only these protruding peaks that are engaged. That means instead of experiencing a full surface friction effect, you only really have the small tips pressing down onto the brake disc. And this naturally affects and reduces the braking performance of the disc brake system overall. That's why it's absolutely essential to thoroughly grind away and remove these edges. And that's exactly what happens when braking with the disc brake. The second problem in the whole matter is also obvious. When only these microscopically small tips on the brake pad come into contact with the brake disc, an enormous heat is naturally generated at specific points. And in the worst case scenario, this can lead to the tips of the brake pad melting down, which ultimately results in both the brake pad and the brake disc becoming glazed over. Glazed discs result in a noticeable reduction in braking performance. Bedding in the brakes thoroughly smooths out irregular surfaces on both the disc and pads to achieve optimal contact. This results in an even surface, enabling the disc brake to fully deliver its full braking power. But how exactly do you go about properly braking in disc brakes now? It's very important and crucial that you find a consistent and steady descent where you can just roll down smoothly. To effectively and correctly bed in the brakes, you absolutely need to be traveling at a minimum speed of 30 km/h or more. You'll really be doing yourself an enormous favor if you manage to find a descent that's sufficiently long enough to comfortably accelerate up to around 30 km/h, allowing you to steadily brake consistently from that speed down to a complete and full stop. Ideally, the descent is long enough for you to repeat the process several times. It is absolutely vital to bed in just one brake at a time. Start with one of them, then proceed to the other one. All right, let's do this now. When you have reached the speed of 30 km/h, start to gently ease into the brakes with a soft touch. Gradually increase the braking pressure, but never forget the crucial rule. The wheels must absolutely not lock up under any circumstances. The wheel must definitely keep turning in order for the grinding effect between the brake pads and the disc to properly happen. Ideally, you should carefully repeat this entire process up to 3 times for every brake. By doing so, you can ensure perfectly bedded-in disc brakes and achieve the absolute best possible braking performance that your brake has to offer. I hope you enjoyed and found the video helpful. I wish you lots of enjoyment as you ease into the slowdown, but even more pleasure with a truly well-functioning disc brake. Until next time, your Maxi from Rebike.